Hello everyone, this is Govind Chaudhary from Cybernetics Laboratory, Department of Geology, Banaras Hindu University. Today we are going to discuss something about chromosomal abnormalities. Here in this picture we find wheat plant and it is scientifically known as Triticum aestivum. So let's discuss something about this wheat plant. Today wheat is the principal crop of more than billion of people and we also consume wheat plant in our daily diet. So we find more than 17,000 varieties of wheat plant. Now let's see the ancestry of wheat plant. Its progenitor its progenitor were very low yielding grasses. When these two of the progenitor interbreed, they produces a hybrid wheat plant. And this hybrid wheat plant is better than their previous progenitor low yielding grasses. Now again, when this hybrid wheat plant again interbreed with another diploid species, it produces a triple hybrid wheat plant. This triple hybrid wheat plant is known as modern wheat plant and it is much more better than previous hybrid and it is much more better than their previous progenitor plant. This triple hybrid wheat plant is best suited for their agricultural purpose. Now, a question arises in our mind: what made this triple hybrid wheat plant superior from their ancestor? Answer is they have larger grain, they are more easily harvested, and they grow in wide range of environmental conditions. So genetically, this triple hybrid wheat plant is amalgamation of genome of three different species.
So let's begin with some brief introduction about chromosomal abnormalities. Chromosomal abnormalities means defect in chromosome. This defect can be in number or this defect can be in structure. The example of the numerical abnormalities are polyploidy and aneuploidy, and the example of structural aberrations or abnormalities are deletion, duplication, translocation, and inversion. So let's start with numerical abnormalities. When there is addition or elimination of certain part of chromosome or addition or elimination of whole sets of chromosome, we call it as a numerical abnormalities. So in numerical abnormalities, whenever we talk about changes in a doses of single chromosome, we call it as aneuploid. And when we talk about changes in the whole set of chromosome, whenever we use the term sets of chromosome, then we called it as a polyploid. There is also one more term known as euploid. The organism which carry the whole sets of chromosome means complete sets of chromosome. They are known as euploid organism. Now, what is structural abnormalities? It is also known as rearrangement of chromosome. It arises when a piece of one chromosome get fused with another chromosome or a segment within a chromosome get inverted with respect to rest of the chromosome. So the structural aberration take place. And how it's occur? It requires break in the chromosome. More than two break can occur, and broken part then it reunite into new arrangement. The example of structural aberrations are deletion, duplication, translocation, and inversion. Let's start our topic with numerical abnormalities. First, we'll discuss about polyploidy. As we have discussed earlier, the organism which carry extra chromosome sets, they are known as polyploid. It is very common in plants and it is very rare in animal. So why polyploidy is rare in animal? As we have known, animal primarily reproduce via sexual mechanism, and when polyploidy occurs, it interferes with normal sex determination mechanism in animal. About one half of all known plant genera contain polyploid species, and about two-thirds of all grasses are polyploid. Many of these polyploid species reproduce via asexual mechanism, and many of these polyploid species are sterile. We will discuss more why polyploid species are sterile further in this chapter. These are some of the example of polyploidy plants: chrysanthemum, strawberry, cotton, banana. Chrysanthemum are tetraploids, strawberry Here octoploids, and cotton tetraploids, banana is triploids. So there are some benefits of polyploidy plants. The size of the polyploid plants is more, and why? Due to more chromosome in the nucleus. This overall increase in size correspond to the overall increase in size of the organism. Polyploid species are more robust than the diploid counterparts. It has also benefit in agriculture. It has a practical significance for humans who depend on many polyploid plant species for their food. These polyploid species produce larger seeds and fruits. They have greater yield in agriculture. These are some of the example of polyploidy plants. Example of crop plants, and here the example of ornamental garden plants. An example of crop plants are wheat, potatoes, bananas, strawberries, cotton, and the example of ornamental garden plants are roses, chrysanthemum, and tulips.
As we have discussed in the introduction part, that polyploid species are more robust than the diploid counterpart. But at the same time, we have also discussed that many polyploid species are sterile. Here, we will discuss why most of the polyploid species are sterile. The reason behind this is that the extra chromosome set in the polyploid species segregate irregularly during meiosis, which further lead to aneuploid gametes. And if suppose these aneuploid gametes unite in fertilization, the zygote produced from such fertilization almost dies. This inviability explains why many polyploid species are sterile. This overall process can be explained through an example. Let's consider a triploid species, as it has three identical sets of chromosomes. So during meiosis, each chromosome tries to pair with its homologue. Here, one possibility is that two homologues pair with each other, leaving third homologous without a partner. Here, this solitary chromosome is known as univalent. So here, it is very difficult to predict how this chromosome will move during first anaphase phase. Most likely, two homologues will move to one pole and one homologue will move to another pole. This will produce gamete containing one or two copies of chromosome. Another possibility is that three homologues will partially pair with each other. It may be possible that all three homologues may move to one pole or the same pole, thus producing gamete with 0 to 3 copy of chromosome. So this explains how aneuploid gametes are produced in polyploidy. One more thing is that zygote produced from such types of gamete are almost certain to die. Therefore, most of the triploids are sterile. In horticulture as well as in agriculture, sterility of such plant can be prevented by allowing such polyploidy plant to propagate asexually. Method of asexual propagation includes cutting as performed in bananas, bulbs as performed in tulips. In nature also, polyploidy plant species can reproduce asexually, and one of those mechanisms is apomixis. Apomixis is a mechanism which involves modified meiosis, and this type of meiosis produces unreduced egg. And finally, this type of egg forms seeds that finally germinate into new plants. Example is dandelion weeds. Up to now, we were discussing that not all, but many polyploid plants are sterile, but some polyploid plants are fertile also. Instead of having identical chromosomal set, as we have seen in sterile polyploid, these fertile polyploid plants have distinct sets of chromosomes. They can produce viable offspring. How this process takes place, let's see in this figure. Two distinct but related diploid plants. They are distinct but they are related to each other. Plant A and B crosses to produce a hybrid plant. Hybrid. Now, this hybrid is probably sterile because the chromosome A cannot pair with chromosome B because they came from distinct but related diploid plant. So, in this sterile hybrid, now if duplication of chromosome take place, so it produces a fertile tetraploid because A chromosome will pair with its perfectly homologous A chromosome. Similarly, B will pair with perfectly homologous B chromosome. Now this fertile tetraploid produces euploid gametes. Fertilization from this gamete produces tetraploid zygote, and zygote will survive because parental chromosome sets are balanced. So this type of hybridization between different but related species and followed by chromosomal duplication has been occurred many times in plant pollution. One of the best example is modern weed Triticum aestivum. This plant is hexaploid and it has three different chromosomal set, and each of the chromosomal set has been duplicated in hybrid. There are seven chromosomes in each set. As we have discussed in the beginning of this chapter, the modern wheat has undergone two hybridization events. Here, two distinct but related diploid species crosses to produce a hybrid. This hybrid is probably sterile because A cannot pair with B. Here, doubling of chromosome take place. So, doubling produces a fertile tetraploid. This fertile tetraploid again crossed with distinct but related diploid species. It produces a triple hybrid. Now again here the chromosome duplication take place and it again produces a fertile hexaploid species, which we call as a modern wheat.
Aneuploidy generally means when there is numerical changes in the part of genome. Generally, when we talk about changes in the doses of single chromosome, it means individual carry an extra chromosome or missing a chromosome. Original studies of aneuploid was performed in plant, and their studies suggest that chromosome imbalance produce phenotype effect. It is a normal diploid species. It is a plant of it is a seed capsule of Datura stramonium, and it is a diploid species. And this all the individual have an extra chromosome, and this extra chromosome create chromosome imbalance, and it produce a different phenotype effect. These studies were performed by Albert Beckesley and John Belling in Datura stramonium. It is a diploid species and it has 12 pairs of chromosome, so somatic cell has 24 chromosome. Beckesley collected some plant which has altered phenotype, and Belling examined the chromosome of this mutant plant which has altered phenotype, and Belling found that every altered phenotype mutant has an extra chromosome, and he also found that the extra chromosome in each mutant strain was different. This type of replication of chromosome known as trisomies. The reason behind this trisomy is non-degeneration of chromosome during meiosis first. So Belling's work suggests that each chromosome must be present in proper dose for normal development of an organism. Trisomy which are found in human. One of the example is Down syndrome. This syndrome is associated with an extra chromosome 21. This Down syndrome was first described by British physician Langdon Down in 1866. The symptoms of Down syndromes include the person who have Down syndrome, they are short in height, they have broader skull, their nostrils are wide, they have large tongue, and they have impaired mental abilities. That is why they are given special education and care. Their lifespan are shorter than normal people. This figure shows the karyotype of female having Down syndrome. Instead of having 46 chromosome, they have 47 chromosome, including 2 X chromosome and extra chromosome 21. So karyotype of Down syndrome patients are written as 47XX plus 21. Now let's discuss the reason behind this trisomy. This is mainly occur due to non-degeneration of chromosome during meiotic cell division. These non-degeneration events can occur in any of the parents. It can occur through father or can occur through mother, but it is more likely found in female. As the female ages, The behavior of chromosome in meiotic cell division changes. As we know, in human female, meiosis begins in fetus, but it is not completed until the egg is fertilized. During this long duration before fertilization, eggs are arrested at prophase first of meiotic cell division. During this arrest phase, the chromosome may get unpaired and then non-disjunction of chromosome take place. So older female have greater chances to produce aneuploid gamete than younger female. Here, there are some aneuploidy which are found in human and that are produced from meiotic non-dejunctions. In this picture, we find some of the example of trisomy and some of the example of monosomy. We have already gone through the trisomy of 21 chromosome, that is Down syndrome. Here, there are some more autosomal trisomy, that is trisomy 13 and trisomy 18. 13 chromosomal trisomy, the name it is known as Patau, and the trisomy of 18 we called it as a Edwards syndrome. The phenotype of Patau syndrome includes mental deficiency, deafness, cardiac anomalies, posterior heel prominence, and the phenotype of Edwards syndrome include congenital malfunction of many organ, low set, malformed ears, small mouth, mental deficiency, and 90% of the Edwards person die within the 6 months after birth. It is an example of monosomy in human. It means there is absence of one chromosome. Here we find there is addition of one there is presence of extra chromosome. Here we find there is absence of one chromosome, so it is known as monosomy. The example is Turner syndrome. We will see this monosomy in more detail in the next slide. Let's see some chromosomy which include sex chromosome. So it is a viable trisomy which are found in human. One of the example is triplo X karyotype 47XXX. These individuals survive because two of the X chromosome from three of the X chromosome become inactivate. These triplo X karyotype individual are female. They are phenotypically normal. Sometimes they have slight mental impairment and they have reduced fertility. Another viable trisomy in human is XXY karyotype. They have two X chromosome and one Y chromosome. They are male in phenotype, but they show some female secondary sexual character and they are sterile. In 1942, H. F. Klinefelter described these abnormalities and now it is known as Klinefelter syndrome. They have small testes, they have enlarged breast, they have long limb and underdeveloped body hair. The reason behind this trisomy is the XXY karyotype can originate by fertilization with an exceptional X bearing egg with the sperm carrying Y chromosome, or fertilization can take place between X bearing egg with the sperm which carry XY chromosome. Here, all other trisomy which are found in human are embryonic lethal. This suggests that there is importance in the correct dosage of chromosome. Unlike Datura, human cannot tolerate many types of chromosome imbalance. Let's see monosomy in human in more detail. It occurs when there is missing of one chromosome from their diploid counterparts. In human, we have only one viable monosomy, and that is Turner syndrome, having karyotype 45 and single which have single X chromosome. Symptoms and characteristic features of Turner are phenotypically they are female, their ovaries are rudimentary, they are almost sterile, the individual are short in stature, they have web neck, they have hearing deficiency, and also they have cardiovascular abnormalities. Henry H. Turner first time described this type of condition, and now it is known as Turner syndrome.
So, this 45X karyotype indicating Turner syndrome can be produced from aneuploid gamete, which lack one of the sex chromosome. Here in this figure, we find egg do not have one of the sex chromosome, and when it unites with normal sperm, the resulting zygote lack one of the sex chromosome, and the zygote will produce a Turner individual. Now, one of the most important point is that this loss of one of the X chromosome can be occur even after fertilization during the mitosis. So, one of the studies says that Turner individual are somatic mosaic, means these people have two type of cell in their body. Some have 45X chromosome and some have 46XX chromosome. So, if the loss of one of the X chromosome take place very early in development, then many cells in the body are aneuploid, and that individual show the feature of Turner syndrome. And if this loss of one of the X chromosome take place very late in development process, so in this condition we find very smaller number of cells are aneuploid, and they have very less symptoms of Turner syndrome. The people who have 45X karyotype, means those who are Turner syndrome, they do not have bar body in their cell. Now this is a question for you: why Turner individual do not have bar body?
Structural abnormalities. As we have discussed, it occurs when there is break in the chromosome and broken part reunite into new arrangement. For example, when there is change in the orientation of chromosomal segment, as we find in inversion. Here in inversion, a segment within a chromosome rotate 180 degree, due to which we find reverse gene order. And other rearrangement involve fusion of chromosomal segment from different chromosome, what we find in translocation. So these are the example of chromosomal structural rearrangement. So let's begin this rearrangement part with deletion or deficiency. When we find any segment of a chromosome is missing, we call it as a deletion or deficiency. Now a question comes in our mind, how it is detected, how we detect there is deletion or any duplication. So answer is, it can be detected cytologically by observing banding pattern when we scan chromosome by GIMSA or quinacrine. One of the classic example of deletion is Cradut-Chet syndrome. This word came from the French word and its meaning is cry of cat. This syndrome is mainly caused by the deletion of the short arm of chromosome 5. When any individual is heterozygous for deletion, then its karyotype are written as 46-del 5p14. It means band number 14 of short arm of chromosome number 5 is missing. Here P indicates short arm. These type of individuals are severely impaired by physically as well as mentally. So now the question arises, how this syndrome got its name? The answer is, this type of individual cry like cat during their infancy period. So by this way the syndrome got its name.
This is a karyotype of female having Cradut syndrome. Here, if you see one of the short arm here, one of the short arm of chromosome is missing. So the now question comes in our mind, how this deleted segment or gene is detected. Answer is, here chromosome 5. This chromosome 5 is labeled with fluorescent gene specific probe. So here chromosome on the left, this left chromosome left bound to the probe because it has that gene, means gene is not deleted here. But this right chromosome doesn't bind to any type of probe because there is deletion of the gene. So by this way, gene is deleted or gene is detected. Now coming to duplication. When we find any extra chromosomal segment, then it is known as duplication. It may be possible that these extra chromosomes can be attached to one of the chromosomes. In Drosophila, bar I mutation is an example of duplication. It is an dominant X-linked mutation and it alters the size
and shape of Drosophila compound. This mutation was studied by C.B. Bridge in 1930s. C.B. Bridge analyzed a gene which was located on 16A region, and it is related to shape of the eye. Due to its duplication, the shape of the eye become narrower from its original spherical structure. And if triplication of this gene occur, then shape of the eye even become more smaller. From this example, it is clear that number of the copies decide the severity of this mutant phenotype of bar eye. Now coming to the inversion part. In this type of rearrangement, a segment of a chromosome is detached and then it turns around 180 degree and reattached to the rest of the chromosome. Through this mechanism, the gene order gets reversed. Here in this figure, if you see the normal chromosome, the order of gene is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. But due to inversion, here the segment is turned about 180 degree and the order of genes are reversed in inverted chromosome. Here inversion actually took place. This type of rearrangement can be induced in the laboratory simply by X-ray radiation, due to which there is break in the chromosome and after some time it may possible the chromosome turn around 180 degree and get reattached and then inversion take place. But there are some evidence that inversion take place by natural method. It occurred by the activity of transposable element. In this figure, we find that one chromosome is normal here and its homologue is inverted. So we call them as inversion heterozygote. During mutic cell cycle, these chromosomes try to pair with each other and form for pairing they generally form loop. And any one of the chromosome can form loop to maximize pairing between them. Now, inversion can be classified into two types based on whether the inverted segment includes centromere or not. So when the inverted segment here segment is inverted includes centromere, they are known as pericentric inversion. And if they do not include centromere, here the inversion take place and here the centromere is not involved. And if they do not include centromere, they are known as paracentric inversion. And one more point, pericentric inversion means here the inversion are involving the centromere. And if in pericentric inversion the length of the chromosomal arm is changed, see here the length is increased. But if you see in paracentric inversion, the inversion which do not involve the centromere, the chromosome arm does not change. Coming to the translocation part, it occurs when a segment of a chromosome is detached and reattached to non-homologous chromosome. Its one of the genetic significance is that gene from one chromosome are transferred to another chromosome. There is also one more term known as reciprocal translocation. It occurs when two non-homologous chromosomes interchange chromosomal segment, and in this condition there is no loss of genetic material. This figure shows the reciprocal translocation in the right arm where a piece of chromosomal segment are interchanged. In the slides, we find the pairing of translocated chromosome in meiosis. Here in this figure, the translocated chromosome paired with untranslocated chromosome. The translocated chromosome pair with untranslocated homologous chromosome. See here, it is a translocated chromosome and it is a homologous chromosome. They are paired with each other. This pairing is known as cruciform or cross-like pattern. Here in this cruciform pattern, the two translocated chromosomes face each other in opposite direction, whereas untranslocated chromosome they pair each other in opposite direction. Now the most important thing is that here in this cruciform pairing four centromeres are involved. One, two, three, four. So it is very uncertain how chromosome will move during enough phase of meiotic division. So there may be chances of production of aneuploid gamete. So there are three possible way for the movement of chromosome during meiotic division. Here in this figure, these two white centromere they are homologous to each other, and these two gray centromere they are homologous to each other. So coming to the possibility number one, if centromere 2 and 4 they move to the same pole, and the centromere 1 and 3 if they move to the another pole. But we are saying these two homologous, if two homologous centromere they move to opposite pole. In this condition, the resulting gamete produced by these two centromere 2 and 4 will be aneuploid, because the gamete containing the centromere 2 and 4 will be missing some part of B arm, and the gamete containing the centromere 1 and 3 will be missing some part of D arm. The two homologous centromere move to the opposite pole. This type of rearrangement is known as adjacent degeneration 1, and they produce aneuploid gamete. Moving to the possibility number 2. It is a condition when the two homologous centromere they move to the same pole. 2 and 1 are homologous to each other, so they are moving to one pole, same pole, and 4 and 3 they are homologous and they are moving to the same pole. In this condition also, the resulting gamete produced by these two centromere are also aneuploid, because the gamete containing centromere 2 and 1 will be missing C arm, and the gamete containing the centromere 4 and 3 will be missing A arm. So the rearrangement in which the two homologous centromere are moving to the same pole, this type of rearrangement is known as adjacent degeneration 1, and also they produce aneuploid gamete. This figure can be compared with this cruciform pattern. Here 2 and 1 they are homologous chromosome, and these two centromere they are moving to the same pole here, and these 4 and 3 they are moving to another pole, same pole here. Here we can compare with this. Now coming to the third possibility, alternate degeneration. Here the alternate centromere they move to the same pole. See in this figure the centromere 1 and 4 they alternate each other. So 4 and 1 here they are moving to the same pole, and the centromere 3 and 2 are alternate. So 3 and 2 are moving to the another same pole, means another pole. In this condition, none of the arm as well as segment are missing. So this resulting gamete produced by the two centromere will be euploid, because none of the segment or arm is missing. So this type of rearrangement is known as alternate degeneration, and they produce euploid gamete. Thank you everyone. If you find any query, then please let me know. Thank you.